Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we're going to do top 5 moody perfumes. Now, moody can mean a lot of different things. It can mean a moody atmosphere. It can mean you are moody. You're either in a good mood or a bad mood. Moody as in more of a grumpy bad mood than a good mood, or moody as in shifting moods and states of mind and being quite quickly throughout the day. But moody can also mean you're fine, but the perfume is moody itself. So there's a lot of different ways we can approach this concept of moody perfumes, and we're going to get to it. We're going to approach them all in this video. So first, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Get access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week on my main superdacob channel, so go follow me there and take part in the live chats. Hello to my co-chators. So everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion, just to be very clear. I've prompted my lovely AI bot, Bubbles, to generate this moody landscape. Check this out. I love this. And, this landscape, and usually when I prompt Bubbles to generate a landscape of any kind, there's always several options, and then I fine-tune it, tweak it, give new directions, and it's a kind of a conversation between the bot and I, and then we finally come to a final result. In this case, there was very little tweaking needed because I loved this from the get-go. This particular landscape is kind of very reflective of, I want to say mirroring, a state of mind that I'm in when I am personally moody. You know, when you feel like you have those pointy cliffs and like something is a brewing, you might get really angry and upset, you know what I mean? And you're bubbling up, but then you're not so clear in which direction you're going to go. Is it all going to settle? Are you going to be fine? Or are you going to explode and you're going to have a fit? And so these clouds and this mist is it's just creating a visual that is kind of blocking clarity for yourself. And this is what being moody usually means to me. It's like you're not really clear on what it is you want, where you're going to. And in particular, best example ever for this, it doesn't happen often with me because I love to eat, but very rarely it does happen to me when I'm kind of hungry or peckish, but I don't really know what it is I want to eat. It happens rarely. Usually I know exactly what flavor I need and what sort of sustenance I need and what I want. But there are those moody moments when I'm like, I feel I'm hungry, but I don't have a clear vision of what I want to eat. Oh, it's so annoying when that happens. Does that happen to you? Because sometimes it happens to me. When that happens, I'm just so annoyed. So usually what I do in that case is I try to kind of just like stop for a second, try to reset myself, and then find more clarity later. But if you're hungry, what are you going to do? Then that can make you hangry, right? Angry from being hungry. And then you just spiral from there. But anyway, same happens from time to time with perfumes. I have this reset moody perfume moment 3 to 4 times a year. Some years 2 to 3 times. Yes, it happens. Very rarely. But there's a moment when I, in the year, don't know what perfume I want. And every perfume I think of, I'm like, no, that's not the one. No, that's not the one. Usually I am spot on. I know exactly what smell I need to balance out whatever mood I'm in, whatever energy I'm in, whatever the weather is or outside or whatever the situation is I'm encountering. I usually always have a very vivid and clear vision of the fragrance I need, the smell that I want in that specific moment. But very rarely it happens that I'm just like completely confused and I cannot pick out a perfume. And no matter what perfume I pick out, it's the wrong one. It doesn't hit the spot, in other words. Now, here's a list of my moody perfumes, and they're listed for different reasons. Let's blend in the first one. Boo. Check out my review of Gucci Memoire d'une odeur. This one, it's the name mostly, but also the ancient, or so Coty claimed, the ancient Roman chamomile that they claim is inside of this fragrance, which smells slightly bitter and medicinal, and it's a memory of a smell. It's a memory of an odor, and even the bottle fits very well in this landscape, doesn't it? So the perfume itself, the name itself, is very moody. It's very much mist hiding behind this. It's very chemical. It's very synthetic, but it mimics nature because of that chamomile and that herbal aspect of this perfume. There's a bitter accord in there, which very interestingly mimics a state of moody mind to me. So when I thought about my list of moody perfumes, this one came to mind first, not because it's a perfume that I would wear when I am moody. No, quite rather because this perfume symbolizes the aesthetic of moody, just like this picturesque depiction of moody, of a moody state of mind. This landscape pictures it. Memoire d'une odeur smells it, pictures it, or smells it. Yeah, in this case, kind of the whole concept of this perfume is very much moody. Not to say though that I would wear this perfume when I am feeling moody, but it echoes the past, which is a memory of an odor, right? And the bottle design, I remember when it first came out a couple of years ago. It's already been discontinued, unfortunately, alas. But when it first came out, they were describing the bottle like mimicking more vintage perfume bottles with the ridges, like classic old school bottles, and echoes of the past when Alessandro Michele was creative director of Gucci, and all of his aesthetic of escapism, of going back in time into the 60s and the 70s and living in nature and just avoiding thinking about the current state of affairs in the world, political, economical, climate, all of it. Just escapism at its purest form. That's what this perfume kind of represents. So it's moody, because it literally stands there as a sort of protest to what was going on back in the day when this perfume was released. Very interesting. You can check out my review of this perfume also on my channel. Now, number 2, up here. Of course. I mean, this one had to be on my list. Encens Mythique, the mythical incense by Guerlain. This is literally a perfume I wear when I am moody and gloomy. But when I know what I want to wear, right? So this is not a perfume that I would recommend myself wearing when I don't know what perfume to wear. Like that instance I described earlier in my video. By the way, thumb up this video if you're enjoying it. Thumb it up and subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's get to 20K subbies. We're getting there. Slowly, but we're getting there. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. So Encens Mythique is an incense, frankincense, myrrh, all that good stuff. But then it also has amber in it, and it has a ton of ambergris. The original, and by the way, the ambergris now has been taken out of the ingredients list in more modern, current formulations of Encens Mythique, but the one that I have, still on the packaging, okay, on the back of the package, it still lists ambergris extract, literally as is, without using any other terminology to describe it, any synthetic name for it, no. Literally ambergris extract. And in fact, the batch code is 1B01. So I know that sometimes this helps because people want to hunt down certain, batch codes that have certain smell and formulations. Also, their batch codes do repeat. I don't know how often, maybe also every 8 or 9 years, like the Chanel batch codes. But so just be wary of that. You know, Uh, this is also a perfume that I was talking to Rich Mitch. Shout out to Rich Mitch. Go check him out. Great channel. By the way, we were talking about perfumes to wear to funerals a few years ago, and Rich Mitch introduced me to Ensemble. So it was him who introduced me to it, and we were talking. Well, he said he would wear this one to a funeral. It's a very funereal type of smell. And then I blind purchased it, loved it immediately, reviewed it, very deep review of Ensemble, so that I've done on my channel. Go check that out. So the depths of the ocean, the whales and dungeons, mansions, a little bit Game of Thrones vibe, medieval vibes, witches and potions, very deep, very foreboding, very much this. So Ensemble represents a mist and a fog, and not knowing what comes later. There's a Damascus rose in here, which is very dusty, very antique, very, very dry smelling. But then the ambergris starts melting on your skin as your skin heats it up. So it becomes very organic. As you wear Ensemble, as it starts melting on your skin, the dry down hits that ambergris, that pure ambergris accord, which is, I mean, a lot of people cannot handle it. Okay, it's a borderline fecal smell, but it's sweet. It's sickly sweet, resinousy, and then all of the incense that it's drenched in keeps drying that sweetness, right? So there's a battle going on. It's very moody. The dry accord is fighting the sweet, sickly, wet accord, and they keep clashing all the time. And the only way outside of this passage through Mordor, if you may, very Lord of the Rings as well, isn't it? The only passage through to the other side is you. Like, you are the answer, because the way your body chemistry and warmth and heat emanate from this perfume, that's the way to go. And you will ultimately, either the sweet side, sickly sweet, wet side will win, or the dry side will win. Depends on you, your own chemistry, your own mood. So the moodiness of this one delivers moody in a bottle, and then you sort the moodiness out when you wear it, because it either hits one direction or the other. Very fascinating. It's almost like going through a moody fragrance step by step, and it is moody in a bottle. It's literally, if there were, the one perfume to represent moody, it would be Ensemble. Seriously, I love this one so much. It's not easy to wear on a daily basis, you guys. It's not for everyone, It's a heavy hitter. Lasts for days. Such a gothic perfume. I mean, this is very, very, very gothic. Very gothic. And just like that, we were at number 3. Thumb up this video. Subscribe as we enter our third moody fragrance. It had to be. It had to be Fracas by Robert Piguet. The tuberose, Queen of the Night, Black Dahlia type of vibe. This one was released in the 30s. And the tuberose behind this one is very fascinating. And I want to say this one fits so well into the moody atmosphere, because every time I wear it, it doesn't smell the same. It's very moody. So there are those days when I really want to wear Fracas and I want it to smell in a very specific way on my skin, and it doesn't. There are those days when it just goes terribly wrong. I want it to smell in a certain way, and I spray it on. No chance on earth that it's going to do what you want it to do. So moody. And it's going to go in that bitter, floral, salty, bitter, synthetic accord. Bitter butter. Weird. And bubblegum, bitter bubblegum accord. And then there are those days when it hits the spot just right and you spray it on and you get the full magic of Fracas with the right tuberose poking through, buttery smooth rather than buttery bitter. But there's like, I have not cracked the code yet, personally. Whenever I wear Fracas, by the way, go check out my review of Fracas also on my channel. I have not cracked the code yet. I do not know exactly what it is that makes this one tip in one or the other direction on my skin. It's very moody, very volatile, very unstable. The perfumer, I forgot her name, a lady who created Fracas. She was known to never really write down her formulas. She did it by feel. Isn't that amazing? So she would just throw in the ingredients how she felt. She was the witch of perfumery. Oh, what's her name? Forgot her name, French name. Uh, and so they were always going a little bit insane with, at Robert Piguet because they're like, we have to write down this formula so that we can repeat it every. She's like, she goes by mood. She went literally by mood. Depending on how she felt that day, she formulated it slightly differently. Added a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Can you believe? Let me see if So, who is the Germaine Cellier? Germaine Cellier. Germaine Cellier. That's the lady. I had to Google because I always forget. Germaine Cellier. There you go. So she was one heck of a character, okay? And I read in several instances that she was very much like, okay, moody. And she would push the formula of Fracas in whatever direction she felt in that moment, on that day. And that's how the smell would smell as well. So, what can I tell you? It's very much uh, a moody perfume, per definition. Per definition, right? So if we zoom into her, this is how she looked like. I just love this portrait of her. She looks amazing. There she is sniffing away in her gorgeous 40s look, I want to say. This is more 40s than 30s, although, yeah. So that's Fracas. Very moody perfume, but moody in the best of ways, I want to say. I mean, yeah. Okay, there's something wrong with my thing right now. Doesn't want to. So I'm just looking at 1948. Okay, not in the 30s. There you go. I was just looking for that as well. 1948 was the year it was released. Fracas. So we're talking after, the war, and into a little bit before La Dolce Vita. La Dolce Vita was more an Italian phenomenon, but it started in the 50s. But 1948 was still a very disruptive time in Europe. The good guys theoretically won, but a lot of people were, trying to climb to power, and not all the people were good. So this perfume also comes at a time where we still don't know in which direction the world was going to go into after the horrors that it survived, after the moodiness that it went through. So this perfume very much symbolizes that time. And I do believe historically it belongs in the moody category, as well as knowing the history of how it was formulated and then knowing also how it develops on the skin. I don't know about you, but on me, it really goes either in that bitter way or in that soft, smoothie, buttery way. Very moody. There you go. My number 4, subscribe and thumb up the video. Thank you so much, is Okay, here's the deal. Number 18 by Chanel. So, the eau de toilette or the eau de parfum doesn't matter. The eau de toilette is Jacques Polge and Christopher Sheldrake, and the eau de parfum is Olivier Polge. So I do have the eau de parfum here. Okay, so why is this one in the Moody section? Because, believe it or not, this is a palette cleanser. I have noticed that in my fragrant career, every time I do feel that weird, moody way, like I said at the beginning of the video, when I'm not so sure what perfume I want to smell, and no matter what perfume I spray on, it's going to be the wrong perfume. I have learned that when I spray number 18, it resets the clock. Somehow it's a palette cleanser. It's kind of something that dissipates the moody state I'm in. Does that make any sense? And the reason why, oh man, do I love this one. The reason why it's because it is the only perfume that I know out there that mimics a post-dinner shot of brandy. You know, something, you've had your dinner, you've had your dessert, and then you take a little shot of, I don't recommend anybody drinking any alcohol, of course. And this one is a potpourri of a brandy with ambrette musk in this thing. But it's, Chanel has distilled their own brandy just for this perfume. Let that sink in. You can't buy it to drink it. It's a special brandy made in wooden barrels, and the wood is a particular type of wood that gives the flavor to the brandy. The distillation of that turns into this. Okay, so this is an ambrette heavy brandy accord, of course, filled with aldehydes as well, but it's a palate cleanser. This is a reset button, fully reset button for when I'm feeling moody, when I don't know what my palate wants. Do I want to smell opium? Do I, by Yves Saint Laurent? Do I want to smell poison by Christian Dior? Do I want to smell Giorgio Beverly Hills? Do I want to smell Liz Claiborne? Do I want to smell, Chanel number 5? Do I want to smell Shalimar? Do I want to smell, you see what I'm saying? Like, they all go through my head, Rive Gauche, but then nothing really sticks. The memory of the smell of all of them, nothing really sticks to me. Everything, I just go, no, 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 no. When that happens to me, I spray on Chanel number 18, and it's also not the right perfume in that moment when I'm that moody, but it helps me reset my own palate. It cleanses the palate, and it washes away the moody. And then usually by the next day, I'm very clear again on what I want to smell. This is kind of like I've been oversaturated with smelling all perfumes, wearing perfumes every day, all day for years, and then you're like, okay, palette cleanser. Nice little clean, top-notch quality brandy with a potpourri, with a fruity ambrette potpourri in it. And you cleanse the palate and you get that sophistication back again. And the next day what you want. At least that's for me. Okay, so this one does the job for me. Very, very that moody cleaner. Okay, moody palette cleaner. Number 18 by Chanel. Even in its current eau de parfum state. Delish. Mouth watering. Oh, makes me want to drink a brandy now. Okay, and now, thumb up the video, subscribe, and my last fragrance of the top 5 Moody perfumes is... Well, what do you know? What do you know? We saved the best for last. When I'm feeling personally very moody myself, ain't no perfume on earth that's gonna switch my mood, except I force myself to take a bath or a shower, And then I make a tea, usually a tea that calms me down, whatever tea you like, your favorite tea. Mine would be either sage or mint. And I boil the water. I soak the tea bag, or if you have sage, like dry leaves, you can put them directly into the water, and I let that soak, and I inhale the vapors. And that's what calms me down. That's what snaps me out of my moodiness. A bath, warm, to relax the nerves, and then after that, inhaling the smell of sage or mint does the trick for me. So no perfume, just your own body smell and tea. That is my number 5. Tea and a shower. It does have a smell. Technically, it's not a fragrance, it's not a perfume, but it does have a smell. Your own body smell and a bit of tea. Nothing better to heal the moodiness. And then if you are not too tired, just sit down and read a book you love. And relax. Reset that clock, that interior clock. The next day you'll wake up with a clearer mind and ready to sniff and wear some more perfumes. Thank you so much for watching. Thumb up this video if you liked it. Let me know your thoughts and prayers down below. What are your favorite moody perfumes in all the different facets of moodiness as we've kind of dug through together in this a moody, fragrant landscape. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love and subscribe. Bye.